Hello. So today I'm gonna build an to-do app with Time. Time is a integrated solution for Resion's model-driven development of sophisticated web application based on the dynamic web application framework that is designed to accelerate the realization of requirements in agile development environments. So more easily, here we using Time, we can just build a website with really quick time, and then with uh, people that are not familiar with the coding and the programming things, it is really easier for them to just make an application with a really small amount of time and get it running easily. So you can just visit the Time website. There's wikis there, and also some tutorial videos. Also there are published papers, so that they describes a lot about this. So today I will just go through everything of the not everything, just the required components of Times, and then we will build a to-do app using this. So let's get started. So you have to select the workspace and then launch the Time. Okay, here we have our project explorer here. I will be just going through the making of a to-do applications using Time, and with the process I will describe the things I have used here. So for further information you can just have a look on the other tutorials or available resources of Time. So in the project explorer I have some my own projects here. I have closed them here. So we will make a new project. It will be a new Time app applications. Just give it a name. Finish. Well, as Time is a really helpful framework for just building web applications in a model driven way. So it's initially does a lot of things for us, especially the Time 2, the latest version of Time. So it's just with the new project you will have most of the things done for you. Like you have the application, that file here. It will You'll have the application root and the startup. You'll have some already existing process, some GUI already there. Yeah, so we will start our work here. So the very beginning, as we are building a to-do app, we will set our requirements, what we want here, and this will be a really quick small video. So we will just use some really small amount of attributes or components to just do it quickly. So at first we will initiate our datas. So here, double click on that. Here Time automatically creates some component, concrete user and base users for any kind of project. You can use it here, or you can just change it with your own required ones. So I will use this as they are, and I will just add some of my data components that I would be needing here. At the space you will have all the quick views of your process, GUI, and data models here. So we will create our required data types. So here, just you have the palette here, you will just use your required types. So we will use a concrete type. You just drag and drop it here, it will create a data type for you. Okay, so we will have one data type. When you click on that, you will have the properties here showing under the grid view. Okay, so we'll have this. I will have a to-do list type. Okay, and I think another data type would be to-do entry. So finally, just we will have a total view with a list of to-dos, and every list will have a list of entries on their own. Okay, so here we have it. So I don't think I will use most of the components here. I will use most of the components here, and here I will just add a text attribute. So the to-do entry to-do list will have some of the text attributes. The list will have a suppose I have a list for Friday, so I will have a Friday list title. So I would be using the text data types here. So I will have a field, and that would we name it description. Okay, text type. So type do a lot of things for you. You will not have to concerned about that. So to-do app will have one attribute, description, and I think the to-do entry will have another attribute, that is description. So the thing will have, I will have a list called Friday list, and under the Friday list I will have entries like I have to buy a book or grab a coffee or something like that. So I will have different entries for that. So for here it will be also text type and description about the to-dos you are waiting. So data, every entry will be a part of a list, so I will add them. It would be a bidirectional relationship. Okay, so a single list will have multiple entries. It was like that. So a single list will have multiple entries. So here time automatically creates the attributes that are connecting those to different data types. So I will just have to change the name as my required. And here I will make it as a list. Just under the properties, here is list. I will just mark it entries, and then I will have list. I will simply name it as list. So I suppose every concrete user will have a to-do list. So the to-do will get connected with the user. It will be also bidirectional, and as you want it, there would be multiple users, and multiple users might have multiple lists. So this will be list. I'll change the name and make it as an is list. So I think that's it for here. We can come back if we need something else. I will save it. So now I will just go for some making some graphical interfaces. So these graphical interfaces will be the views of the page we have. So with that, I'm already have made two graphical interfaces for us. That one is a private home and another public one. So the private home will be showing welcome to everyone, and then the user will log in, and then there will be a private home, sorry. So the private home will be as the user wants it. So we will work in here. So we already have this current user. These are the data, and this represents the data, and that's the body of the page. So the connections here are representing the connection between representing the flow of the data to the interface, user interface. Much better. So I think at the private home the user will have the entries showing up here. So I will from the palette you can take components you want. I will just take a box here. Okay, it's a box, and under the box there would be a panel, I guess. Sorry, missed that. So the panel would be showing the description of the list. So here I will add a heading. The properties panel. Right click, new heading. It would be showing. So here I will just pass the object. Sorry. And now, so here there will be appearing the entries, and then there would be an option to add new entries. So we will have that interfaces ready for us. So we'll just create some new interfaces, some graphical interfaces. So here right click on the GUI and then new graphical interface. So here I will be making three interface. One would be the add to do, and another will be for the entries. Now we have named it as list, so it would be at list. And we will be needing another interface named manage entries. Okay, we have three graphical interface. One is for the adding the to do, then the list, and then another would be managing the to do and entries. So here the manage entry will have data that's there. You'll just drag and drop the attributes from here to the data grid view. So easy. I will just change the name here a little bit. So this here indicates that it would be an input. It is an input, and then if I uncheck this, be just the data, and I'll be changing its name. Current list. Save. So I think that the manage entry will contain current list. Sorry. So public private home. Private home would be showing us the manage entry here. I think I have made something wrong. And then there would be an option for list, adding list. So, and now we will fix the data follows here. Double click on this current user. This would be showing the to-do list. We'll drag it here. Sorry. So we can just do one thing for making it look better. And then to-do list, and then the current, no, it should be current list, base user. So base user will be here, welcome the base user here, past the object, and then the to-do list will be providing the data here. The current list will get input from here. It's really quick to you just click on that and then drag the connection between the components and the data attributes. I think our work is done here for the private graphical interface, private home. So we'll save it. Then we'll go for add to do. Okay. I think it would be some current list. Okay, so there is a manage entries, and let me think what we have here. Entries. So here, body, what we have, we'll just have a heading. This would represent the entries. How would be the entries showing at the web page. So here I will just change the content. Here to do entries. Okay, so the medium. Perfect. Now we will have a table. And entry here. So the to-do entries will be shown as a table. What we have. So this would be, let's say, description for making things easier. There would be a text. So where can I find text? Just so the text here will be showing the entries, I guess. So we would have passing here the object. We'll add another text just in case the entries are not available. So it would be showing no entries yet. In case there's no entry. Save. Okay, so under this we will have our to-do showing up. Now we're gonna make connection between this, so the current list. Okay, be this, so the data will be showing here. Then and the size would be showing this in case there is no, so I will just negate this relationship. So if there is entry, it would be showing these entries. If there is not, it would be showing no entries here. Okay. And this entry would be referring to the table. So its relation would be table load. Yep. I think our work is done here so far. Save this. So it's really quite easy. You will be just dragging and dropping components, and there would be your website. So we have an add list, so it would contain the to-do lists. So I will be would look for new list, not an input. So there's description attributes here. So I think I have form right here. The forms comes with a button. This is the button. We will be working on this. So before this we need a field here. So here we can style the button. I think the name for this would be list, and the work here is add list. The general styling will be as here. The color, you can choose the color from the styling, say yellow. Size is default. Icon, I would be just for easing things this way. So you can just add some pseudo input here, like for example Friday list, as we are. So my Friday list. Complex submission. Submit, then the new list would be here. Okay. I missed that. Fixing this thing. Our work is done here. Most of the things are similar. So we have this is the to-do entries, so the display would be to-do, add to-do, label. I can change the color, green maybe, same icon. And we would be needing one field. These are the same. Let's say it's also description about your to-do. It will be showing some pseudo input. Buy a book. Okay. We would be needing another data. This would be referring to complex submission. I'll submit just as the previous ones. So we have our to-do, just body description, then we'll add to-do, and there is a list. The list will have a name, text field to add the input, and then add the list. The button will add the list to the database. So we can also have options to remove the to-do from here, but we'll skip this for today's tutorial. We can have some another one. I think our interfaces are ready, so we will go for creating the process. So there is some basic process here. Create user. The create project has already made it for us, so we'll not be concerned about. We would be creating interactables. So there would be one process here, and to-do, another process, and to-do list. So here you just start and end. I think everything sometimes get just to make sure they're there. Yeah. Okay. So what we will be doing here, this will ensure the data follow between the interface and the data. So here we will have a to do, we will have a to do list. So, and required data would be this one, entry, new entry, this would be referring to this, and the new entry, sorry, what I have, the list would be referring to the list, entry would be here. Okay, and there would be the success. Save. Now we have the block list. So here I will just copy the retriev current user from another book, so just making it here will be a real lengthy process. We can have another tutorial on that sometime. Just make sure the relations are correctly given here. Current user would be referring to the concrete users. And the list would be referring to to-do list. So they will just receive data from these places. So we have our interactables is ready here, so now I'm just ready for editing the home. So what we have, so the thing will starting the home, we will go to a public room, then there will be an option for login, and there would be the private home. So there would be appearing the to-do entry and the to-do lists. So we will just make sure that will happen. Okay, so we'll just take the save here. I just think it's a little bit down. So the private home will need some data. For that we will create another branch here, copy, paste. So it'll be another branch, name it as add to do, which will have two inputs. Current list and entry should be the new entry. Make sure the names you have used on the interface, interactable, or the process, they are the same, so Time will recognize what you are referring to, especially. So it will have connection with this save. We'll make sure the inputs have their required connection built in so that they can have the correct data. And if this is success, this will be referring to the private home, and the private home will be taking data from here. We'll make the same for the list. Sorry. Another branch here. List which have input new list. This would be referring this one. If it's a success, you'll be here at the home, taking it from here. There should be a connection between those. I think it's okay. So we will check for if there is any error. I think there are some. just make sure your code is some time refreshed so that you can have things. Let me check here. Current entry. Current entry. The names were not given correctly here, so now we can just give it a refresh. I think it's in the private home. So now there's no error. I think to just give a refresh there and then it will do the work. So when there's a little warning here, we can ignore it. So when there's no error, you are good to go to generate the code. Make sure you're at the main file here, the app.dat, and then you will hit the generate code. It might take sometimes a little more, and then code generation is successful, so we'll be going to the folder where we have the code. So this is our workspace, this is our app, and this is the target folder. So here you have the code. You can see right now you also have it here. So here you have the codes. So we'll just run it, try to run it. So you can just use service new terminal. I'm here using the Docker runner, so I will be using Docker. So my Docker is installed and I've logged in, so it's also running. You can see Docker running, and then you have to go to the page TimeWiki. You can have the GitLab page. There's lots of instructions how to just create run a time code, you can find some commands which we will be app development with Docker. So running an app with Docker, you will have to run this command on terminal. So where my terminal is, there it is. Can paste it, hit enter. It will take some time. So when this running has come to conclusion, you would be having your app under this address, and if you wanna run the Dime backend server, you will just need to run this command to another terminal. So I think it's done, and we will be running this command to another terminal. Sometimes you can have this kind of warnings that means something's wrong with your infrastructure, but don't worry about that. At this kind of situation, you will just run these two commands to clear in your infrastructures and then update the dependencies. So we'll be doing here that, so that everything gets this thing. So what's that? Okay, I guess I will be just breaking this. Terminate this, and then wait for the and then run this command, clear your infrastructure, and then there is another command for update your dependencies. After that, you can just follow the previous steps. Run this command to one terminal. So here it's done. We're okay to run another one. So I think we're here. So now the build success, and it's also working. So let's see how's the server going. Yeah, it's working. So I think it's be better if I just keep it this. So this is the public area. We will log in, and here you will just give your username and password. Have some Peter. So here, welcome to Peter Parker. And this is the private area, this is the description. So now this would be a list of your to-do. So I will follow the same my Friday list. So now that we have a list that names my Friday list, and then under the list we will have entries for the Friday. So now I can just say I have to go to Sisters Friday. That would be on to do, add the to do. So let's go to Sisters, and then I will buy a book. That would be my another to do. So under my Friday list there would be entries, different entries. Go to Sisters, then buy a book, and if you want to add some other else, you will write it here and add the to do. If you want to add another list, names the Sunday list, you can just make a Sunday list. So my Friday list and then my Sunday list, there would be entries. Now that there is no entries, we have just set there, that would be showing no entries yet. So if I add an entry, there will be entries here, just like this one. We have entries here. So that we have just made our to-do web application. Simply log out. It would lead us to the public area again. There is an option to log in. So that's it for today. We can progress on this project next video. Thank you.